All right. Good afternoon. Hope you guys can see me. I know we got a little bit of a glare, but I think it works. All right. Let's go ahead. We'll just start standing and let's start with some shoulder rolls. So just nice and easy. You can go as big or small as you like with these rolls. Now let's switch direction. Let's go forward. Okay, now let's go backwards. We're going to add in an arm swing. So maybe starting a little bit smaller, you can get a little bit bigger. Maybe really, really big. And then let's switch directions. Start real small. Let's go forward. Get a little bigger, bigger, and bigger. Get a couple more. Good, and let's reach those arms up nice and tall. Let's side stretch over to your left side. So just gazing up underneath that right arm. Inhale, bring it up and over to that other side. Inhale, reach it up. Again, let's go 2 more times each side. Over to the right. Or I guess it's your left. Inhale, back, bring it back up and switch. Back to center and switch. 1 more time each way. Back up and to the other side. And bring it back up. Okay, reach those arms up. Now we're going to find a little twist. So we're going to reach that left hand forward. Right arm is going to reach back. So try to keep those hips kind of facing forward. There might be a little bit of opening. That's okay. And really reach back with that right hand. Reach forward with that left arm. Okay, bring it back up and switch sides. Right hand reaches forward. Left arm is reaching back. And then bring both arms up. Let's draw those elbows down. Feel go out those arms. Inhale it back up. Exhale, pull it back down. Inhale, reach it up. Last time, draw those elbows down. Now we'll interlace those fingers behind the back. Draw those knuckles down. Hands will come away from those hips. Keep that core nice and tight. And then we'll release those arms up overhead. Nice flat back as we find that forward fold. So inhale, bring those hands to the shins. Flatten out that back. Exhale, slide those hands down as we fold. Just let that head hang nice and heavy. Maybe give it a little sway from side to side. And then we'll bend into those knees, flatten out that back. Let's come back up. And let's bend into that left elbow this time. Pat yourself on the back so that left hand's right between those shoulder blades. Start to press that head back into that forearm so that core stays nice and tight. Then we'll find that twist over, not twist, side bend over to that right side. Bring it back up and we'll switch sides. So bending that right elbow, press that head back. And then we'll bend it over to that left side. Good, reach it back up. Again, we'll draw those elbows down. Let's interlace those fingers, open up that chest. And then we'll go ahead and release those arms up again. Find that forward fold, nice flat back. As we inhale, then exhale, slide those hands down. Let that head hang heavy. Now flatten out that back a little bit more. We're going to take a big step back with that left foot. Lower that knee down. Inhale, reach those arms up overhead so that core is nice and tight. Those hips are pressing forward. Draw that rib cage down. And then we'll twist. The left arm's going to reach forward. Right arm reaches back. Keep pressing those hips forward. And then we'll reverse it. So the left arm's going to reach up. Right hand reaches down. Just looking over that shoulder, finding that back heel. Okay, then let's circle those arms down, stepping those feet back to the front. Again, flatten out that back. We'll go the other side. Big step back with that right leg. Lower that knee down. Inhale, reach those arms up into that lunge. Pressing those hips forward. Core stays nice and tight. And then we'll twist. Right hand's going to reach forward. Left arm reaches back. Then we'll reverse it. Right arm's going to reach up. Left hand reaches for that back hamstring. And we'll lower those hands down to the mat. Step those feet up. Top of the mat. Find that flat back. And fold. And bend into those knees. Rise back up. Again, into that tricep stretch. So bending into that left elbow. Right hand reaches for the elbow. Press the head back. And then side bend to the right. Inhale, bring it back up as we switch sides. Bend into that right elbow. Head presses back. And side stretch over. And bring it back up. Hold those elbows down. Interlace those fingers. Open that chest. And release those arms up. Exhale, fold. Find that flat back. And then exhale, fold again. Just let the head hang heavy. Stretch out. Those backs of the legs. Now take that big step back with that left foot. Lower that knee down. Reach those arms up. Again, finding that twist. Left hand forward. Right arm reaches back. Press hips forward a little bit more. And then reverse it. Left hand reaches up. Right hand reaches for that back hamstring. And lower those hands down, stepping both feet up to the top of the mat. Then we'll go to the other side. Take that big step back with that right foot. Lower that knee down. Reach those arms up. Keep that core nice and tight. And we'll find that twist to start. So right hand forward, left hand reaches back. Then we'll reverse it. Right arm's reaching up, left hand reaches for that hamstring. And then circle both hands down. And step it back to hands and knees. Okay, and then we'll just step those feet back to a plank. Let's hold the plank here. We'll add some twist to it. So we're going to drop the heels over to that right side. Just the heels, hands stay down. Back to center. Heels to the left. Back to center. So let's go 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring it to center. And then lift those hips up and back. We're going to come into that inverted V, that downward facing dog. Little calf stretch here. So let's bend into that left knee. Press that right heel down towards the ground. Nice flat back. And then we'll switch. Bend into that right knee. Left heel presses down. Good. Now straighten out both legs. They don't have to be completely straight. You can keep that slight bend in there. If those calves and hamstrings are pretty tight, press that tailbone up. Press those heels down. And then bring it back to a plank. Hold. Let's go into that side plank. So we'll start heels to the right. The left arm reaches up. Hold. Really tight through that core. If you need to lower down that right shin, a little modification, you can. Now we're going to add that little twist again. So left arm's going to reach underneath, like you're kind of giving yourself a little hug with that left arm. Inhale, reach it back up. Exhale, thread that arm under. Inhale it back up. Last one, thread that arm through. Inhale, bring it back up and lower that hand down. Front plank. Let's go to the other side. Heels to the left. Right arm reaches up. Thread that arm under. Inhale, send it up. Good. Reach it under. Inhale it back up. Last time, reach that arm through. Inhale, bring it back up. And lower both hands down. Pause it here. Good, now lower those knees down. Just lower onto your stomach. Point those toes. Roll the shoulders down and back, lifting that chest up. Soften it back down. Press and lift up a little higher. And down. Good, press, lift it up. Let's soften it back down. Maybe one more time, lifting up even higher. So maybe kind of coming into more of that up dog. So shoulders are down away from the ears. Big extension through that spine. Even if that's a little bit too much, just stay in those with the rib cage down on the ground and that cobra. And then exhale, send those hips up and back into that downward facing dog. And then let's walk those feet outside those hands. Bring those toes out just slightly. Sink those hips down into that squat. Chest is lifted. Hips are down. You can be up all the way up here as well if those hips are a little bit tighter. If those ankles are a little bit tighter. But really active, drawing those knees out. Core stays tight. Maybe those hips soften down a little bit more. If you want to, you can press the knees. You can press the elbows into the knees, but I want you to still use these muscles out here, your glutes, to pull those knees out a little bit more. Go 3, 2, and 1. Lower those hands down. Straighten those legs out as we find that forward fold. And then bend into those knees. Let's come back up. Little balance here. So we're going to hug that left knee up into that chest. Keep that core really tight. Flexing that foot. Draw that knee up a little higher. Now, right hand is going to grab onto that knee. Okay? And we're going to twist, reaching that left arm back. So trying to gaze back towards that left thumb. We throw that twist, it makes that balance a little bit more challenging. Good, and slowly bring, untwist, bring that left arm forward, so in control. And then we're gonna open it up again. Good, bring it back to center. Bring your hands to your hips and extend that leg out. Keeping that leg lifted as much as you can, really strong through this right standing leg. Good, and lower that foot down. Pedal those feet out. Then we'll go to the other side. So we're gonna hug that right knee up into the chest. Bring that knee up as high as you can. The left hand's gonna reach for. Right arm reaches back. Now slowly bring that arm forward again. And then reach it back out. Bring it back to center. Hands on those hips. Then extend that leg out. Keep that core tight, really standing tall. And lower that foot down, reaching those arms back up. Let's bring those feet a little bit wider. Now with the arms up, we're gonna go into that squat. So sink the hips out, or sink the hips down. Knees are pressing out, maybe keeping those arms lifted. Chest is tall, reaching up through those arms, breathe. 3, 2, and 1. Straighten those legs as we fold. Turn those feet parallel to each other. A few big breaths. Just let those hamstrings lengthen. That head and the torso in nice and heavy. And let's go and plant those hands and step those feet back to our plank. Let's hold it here. Go for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Send those hips back to that downward facing dog. Let's get that big stretch in. So we'll bring that right knee towards that right wrist. Foot slides across. You can slide that left leg back. A little more, or maybe a lot more. And then when you're ready, go ahead and lower down onto those forearms. You can rest your head down onto the fists, or maybe on, if you bring the arms side by side, you can rest it onto the forearms that way. Just close down your eyes, refocus on that breath. We'll hold it here for a moment. And then come back to the hands. Send that leg back to that down dog. Another breath. And then we'll step that left knee to that left wrist. Foot comes across. Right leg slides back. And then lower onto those forearms when you're ready. And then come back to those hands. Send it back to our down dog. Couple breaths. Then go ahead and lower onto those knees. Let's sit. Well, I'm going to sit long ways because I want my heels to stay on the mat. But if you're on carpet or something and you have a pretty soft floor, you can stay the same, facing the same direction. Anyway, bring those feet up as wide as you can. A nice flat back, sitting up nice and tall. And you're going to hinge forward. So if you're feeling a little bit tighter, you may not go very far, but flexing those feet, pull those toes back towards you. I think like you're trying to pull those feet wider and then hinge forward. So we're not rounding through that spine. We're keeping that nice flat back as we fold. It might be a pretty big stretch through that inner thigh. Take a couple more breaths. And now bring it back up. Let's bend into your right knee. Right foot towards that left inner thigh. Lower that forearm down towards that straight leg, and then we'll reach that right arm up overhead. Big side stretch, reaching for that toe. Good. Bring it back up. And then we'll switch sides. So straighten that right leg out. Left foot comes to that inner thigh. Sit up really tall. So we're going to reach that left arm up and over. Side stretch. And then bring it back up. Let's cross those legs coming into that seat, reaching those arms up nice and tall. Exhale, let's twist it over to that right side. So right hand with the base of the tailbone to prop yourself up really tall. And then exhale, look over that shoulder, find a little bit more twist. Bring it back to center. Let's go to the other side. Left hand comes behind the back. Right hand on that knee, sit really tall. And then twist, look over that shoulder. And bring it back to center. Let's take a second here just to breathe. Hands on those knees, roll those shoulders down and back, close down those eyes. Just taking those big breaths in through the nose and out through the nose. Just focusing on that breath. It doesn't have to be anything special, maybe just a little bit bigger than a natural breath. So we're just really using that full capacity of those lungs. All right, then blink those eyes open. Thank you guys so much for joining me. Have a great rest of your Friday and a great weekend. We do have yoga tomorrow at 9:30 a.m. So hope to see you all there. Otherwise, have a good one.